here because Life of Chuck is undeniably going to be one of my favorite movies of this year. And I have the great honor of getting to stand here right now and introduce you to Mark Hamill.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, how kind of you.
I've said it to you many a times at this point. I'm going to say it again. Huge congratulations on this movie.
Yeah, I worked with Mike Flanagan once on The Fall of the House of Usher. Yeah. And I thought the remarkable thing about that was he cast me in a way that would have been routine for animation voiceover, because you can play anything. They cast with their ears, not their eyes. So you're going to get a wide range of roles that you would never get if people could see you. But this stuck out because I thought, this is so unusual that he thought of me to play this soulless, evil sociopath. I don't know if I should be complimented by that, but, and then we just hit it off. Mike is just one of the kindest, gentlest gentlemen. I've never seen him raise his voice. I've never seen him get angry or swear or throw things. And I've worked with directors like that. No names. But so being on set with him it's a nice. You want to be there. You feel like you're with family. So when he called and he said, "Well, I'm doing this thing based on a Stephen King novella," I'm thinking, "Oh my God, these two titans of horror. This will be the epic supernatural horror movie of all time." And I ordered it immediately. I got off the phone. I ordered it on Amazon, although I'm boycotting Amazon now. But in those days I wasn't, and I got it like the next day. So I wound up reading Stephen King's adaptation before I read the script, and I didn't know what to make of it. I mean, I loved it, but I said, how in the world are they going to make a movie out of this? But as you saw, Mike stayed very close to what Stephen had written in terms of telling it in reverse order, Act 3, Act 2, Act 1. And my segment, because I think the first two acts, Act 3 and Act 2, are complex compared to the final act, which is all set in one house with the grandfather, the grandmother, and two versions of Chuck, little Cody and Benjamin Pajak. And I have to tell you, that Benjamin Pajak is just, he's so good in the movie, but that's him. He's so genuine, so warm and heartfelt, and I just think it's remarkable. He was in tears on the last day because, you know, it was the last day of the movie and he loved it so much. And I said, "Benjamin, this is going to be the first of many, 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 many things for you." I didn't see him when his debut was as Winthrop in the revival of the Music Man on Broadway with Hugh Jackman, which I did not see. But I mean, you saw he could dance, but I'm telling you, he sings. One day I came on set, he was knitting. Thinking, what was I doing at age 12? I was trying to put monster model kids together. I certainly wasn't knitting. I don't even know how to, even to this day. I'm sorry, you must have questions.
You just gave me a million more follow-up questions there. I'm gonna go back to Mike first. You named a bunch of wonderful qualities that he has, but there's one particular word that you use that I want to dig into more. It's family, because Mike is very well known for the Flana family. He has a group of people that he works with often, and then he builds from project to project. Can you tell us maybe something about the on-set environment of Life of Chuck, and maybe Fall of the House of Usher, that speaks to the benefit one can feel when they're on set with family?
Well, that's it. There's a loyalty that develops, and it's rare amongst filmmakers in my experience. Now, I've only done two things. Somebody like Henry Thomas, the little boy from when I was growing up, from E.T., when I worked with him in House of Usher, I think he'd done 7 or 8. Kate Siegel, obviously, his wife, has been in probably more than any of us, but he has people that he uses. Samantha Sloyan is another one. She's in this as the teacher when they're all dancing. She's wonderful. I mean, what struck me, because I was a fan of Mike before he contacted me. I'd seen the Haunting of Hill House, and then The Haunting of Bly Manor, and then Midnight Mass. Now, the first two are gothic ghost stories. One based on Turn of the Screw, but he fleshes them out and expands them. Like when he told me he's doing Carrie now, in my mind, I didn't say it out loud. I said, why would you do Carrie? It's already been done. And I thought, well, he's taking 8 1-hours. So you're going to probably see backstory on the mother. You'll probably get to know the girls that, bully her down at school. He's great at taking source material and fleshing it out. And he has his own family, obviously. Kate, his wife, and Cody, and oh gosh, what's the daughter's name? I'm blanking on it right now. But Cody, when I was, how old is he in this movie? He's like 6 or something. At that age, if I'd gone onto a movie set, I'd be looking all around and really enjoying it. This kid walked on set like he was Martin Scorsese, like he owned the joint. He sits down, and he doesn't have any lines. I mean, he's supposed to be playing with the train. In the script, it said that Mia Sarah, who's playing my wife, is reading a book, and that I'm watching television. When he came in, I said, we don't have to worry. No one's going to be watching us. No one will be watching anything but this little boy. And he's ad-libbing. I mean, making all aboard, people with heavier luggage in the back. He's batting his part like crazy. And at one point, Mike came in and said, now remember, when the train goes around the 3rd time, no more smiling, no smiling. And he nodded. Mike goes back to the monitors, and I saw Cody sitting there doing this. I said, what are you doing, Cody? Practicing not smiling. And he wasn't trying to be funny. That was just him. And he loves it. He already told Mike, I should be in Carrie. I don't know if they want to have an actor in the house, but.
I mean, the whole Flana family's coming back for that too. Samantha Sloyan, who's
Yeah.
also incredible in The Pit. You can watch her all over the place right now.
Yes, she's so good. I did go down the day they were filming that sequence, and I didn't want to distract from them, so the AD would tell me when I could slip in, but I just love all the little touches. The fact that he cast the actress that's 1.5 foot taller than him. Boy, can I relate to that. And I think that's what happens throughout the movie. People see things that are personal to them, and I've seen it 3 times. I always see something new that I didn't know or didn't really note the first time. What I'm saying, it lends itself to repeat viewings. That's why, fingers crossed, people will go and word of mouth will help us, because we don't have like car chases or Tom Cruise doing backflips off of helicopters. Which, I like that too, but this one is very special. I told Neon, and I talked to Perry, our moderator, said, I wish there were more people here, because I have a really hard time talking about it. I mean, I said to the producers, yeah, I'll go out and do publicity like you want me to do. I've always felt like it's an obligation of the actor to be a part of the marketing. It's part of your job. But I don't know what I'm going to say about it. I mean, can I just go say, go see it and you can thank me later? Or no. Just do me a favor.
I mean, I think that's fair though.
Yeah.
I've never really seen a narrative, and this is coming from a big fan of the short story. I've never seen a screen narrative basically tackle the meaning of life and the impact we all have on one another,
Yes.
In life and also after the fact, that expresses those themes and ideas this clearly. And feel like a lot of that comes from the fact that Mike took a great short story on the page and figured out visual ways to enhance those themes and
Right.
ideas.
And those moments that seem insignificant at the time, when strung together, are much more profound than you realized at the time. And I was thinking, because I said to Mike, this is unlike anything. I know Stephen King did Shawshank Redemption and The Body, which became Stand By Me and Green Mile, but I said, this has nothing like anything he's done before. And Mike said, well, I mean, there is the end of the world in a haunted room. I went, oh yeah, there is that. But like I say, it was just idyllic for me because it was so self-contained. I didn't meet Tom until, the Toronto Film Festival. And it won the People's Choice Award at the Toronto Film Festival, which is huge for us. The little film that could.
Huge for a movie that did not have distribution at that film festival. And then Neon, the smart people over there, they swooped it in and they got a gem right here.
Did you see the billboard on Sunset Boulevard? Thanks for 39 great years, thanks Chuck. And it gets the same reaction as the movie. Everybody's going, who the hell is Chuck? Who is this guy? Which I love because it just reflects the movie so well.
Keep your eyes on those billboards the next time you see the movie too. There's a lot of good Easter eggs in there.
Yes, yeah, you told me tonight that he looks slightly different in every billboard. See, I didn't know that. I saw it, I recorded it in my brain and moved on. But apparently Tom went down and did a photo shoot and they did many, many, many different slight variations that are throughout the movie.
Such an effective touch. I want to go back to Benjamin for a little
Yes.
bit. This is one of my
Love that boy.
so good. This is one of my favorite questions to ask because I feel like we frequently talk about what the newcomer learns from the veteran, but I love the fact that that could go both ways. So can you tell us something you saw him do on this set that even with all your experience made you think to yourself, like, I gotta try that myself one day?
Well, you can't really teach it, but he's so in the moment. I don't think he really plans out. You rehearse, you do the scene a couple of times, and he's just so spontaneous and fresh and genuine. I really miss him. I told him, I said, I wish you were my real grandson. No higher compliment than that.
He is something else. And
He's really the heart and soul, at least for me, of the movie, because I love the scenes where Mia's teaching him to dance. That's, instills his love of dance, and they cut from Mia doing this to Tom doing that. There's all these connecting things. It's very clever, and I know Mike is really happy with the way it came out.
As he should be. Speaking of Mia, I'll go to her next. Do you remember the very first thing you saw in her, either in prep or on set, that made you stop and go to yourself, like, you right there, you are the Sarah to my Albie?
We just fell into it instantly. I think probably the first scene we did together was not the scene where we're all sat at the dinner table. I think the first scene we did, if I remember right, is the scene where Cody was playing with the train. So it's very comfortable. We held hands like we'd been together forever. And she's married to Brian Henson, who's Jim Henson's son. So a lot of creativity in that family. And I'm just so glad she's back because, I mean, everyone, the movie she hears about more than anything is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, obviously.
Going to see it Saturday night?
And I hear a disproportionate amount of crushes about those space movies. So we can relate in that way, because, like, we've done other things, but whatever. Give the people what they want, right?
Now you're just gonna get questions about multitudes and the cupola.
That scene, I think that scene where Kate Siegel, the teacher, holds his head in her hands is, for me, the strongest message in the movie, that you are someone, you are important. What's in my hands? That's the "you contain multitudes" scene. But it's funny that Stephen King's so known for such gruesome, It and The Shining, all those Cujo and Carrie and all that, when he really has a real human touch and has a really softer side that gets overlooked sometimes. I got to sit next to him at TIFF. That's how I knew I was a good actor, because I just said, "How do you do?" and sat down. Inside I'm going, "Oh my God, it's Stephen King!" But I didn't on the surface. I was okay. And he looked up at me. He goes, "The Major." I said, "How does he know?" Because I agreed to do The Long Walk, which is also based on Stephen King. Yeah. That is. When I read it, I thought, oh my God, the premise alone is so ghastly. Not only can I not do it, I don't think I can see this thing. But I wanted to work with Francis Lawrence. He's the director of all the Hunger Games. So I had a Zoom meeting with him, and I thought, you know what, if I turn this down, the odds of me getting to work with him plummet. And despite all my misgivings, the gun violence, the premise, all that, I thought, this is the right guy to do it. And I know I'm right because I saw a screening of it, and I thought, in any other hands, it could be really hard to watch, but he did a great job, really great job. And by the way, I mean, I'm the heavy in it, but these young men that are playing the walkers, so good. Cooper Hoffman is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. And David Johnson, he is just a revelation. They're the two main guys, but the next tier of walkers, every one of them is excellent, down to the non-speaking roles. I was able to watch it enough, so I was checking everybody out. It's beautifully cast, and like I say, you're going to hear a lot from these guys because they're the next generation of young actors that are going to do great.
Yet another one of my favorite Stephen King books right there. I'm so excited to see that. You brought up Kate's monologue before, but I want to turn towards your monologue because it's a beautifully written and delivered piece. And you've done monologues before, but I feel like delivering a Mike Flanagan pen monologue is something completely different. So when you prepare to tackle that, what is something one of a kind you have to do to nail a Mike Flanagan monologue?
Well, in House of Usher, since I was the lawyer for the family, I'm doing all this investigation of these crimes, and I'm all exposition, basically. I'm telling the audience what they need to follow the story. But that was really hard because it wasn't like a conversation. You ask me a question, I answer your question. This was all, he met here with his lawyer, but I couldn't talk to him. I'll see him later. I'm laying out photographs and all this information. I had little cheats and so forth. They'd let me take the stack of props of what I was going to put out the next day so I could rehearse the night before, but I was doing little initials and so forth because I'm saying the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the this, the five families and so forth. That was hard in its own way. What this monologue was difficult was, first of all, it informed who the man is, because he's sort of not the most exciting personality in the world. He drinks a little too much, he's just kind of dull. But when the grandson says, I think math is boring, it's like he spit on the Pope. I'm outraged. How could he not love math? And he becomes alive talking about math. And by the way, it's cut down. The reason I remember is because sometimes in the margin of a script to try and remember what my line is, I couldn't make the transitions because, it was just from one thing to another. I say, and I know it's cut because he says at one point, and it can make you, he's talking about math, and it can make you popular. And the grandson, of course, Benjamin's like, huh? Yeah, you can go out with your friends and figure out in your mind how much it costs for everybody to eat. And it's good for your brain. Now, I couldn't make the jump. And then I thought, eat brain. So in the margin, I wrote zombie. And I knew I'd remember that. But like I say, it was like 3 solid pages of yakking about math, and I'm lucky I had the script about a month before. I'd get up every day and work on it. In the morning, you read it out loud, put it away, do it sometime later in the day, then in the early afternoon, then right after dinner before I went to bed. But every day for a month, because I was nervous. I thought, oh my God, I mean, am I going to need cue cards? Or I was working with an actor once who uses one of those ear things. And he was going to have a meeting with the people that do that. And I said, well, let me try it out. This was on House of Usher. I thought maybe this would help me. So I went, and within 5 minutes I said, you know what, this is a separate skill in and of itself. I probably could master it someday, but it goes against everything in terms of how I work. Because I tell young actors, listen to what the other person is saying. You know, the cliche is the actor going through the script going, bullshit, bullshit, my line, bullshit, bullshit, my line. Listen. And when I was working with this actor during a scene, I would say my line, and we'll see him next Friday. And the actor would go, Is the meeting set up Friday? Long, because he's listening to someone reading what he's supposed to say. I didn't like working that way, but I didn't say anything. You know, if that's what he wants to do, that's fine with me. But I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't think I could. It breaks up the flow, and you don't know, because there's a certain rhythm to scenes that alters depending on what the material is, and that's just not for me. So, but I had a lot of time, like I say, and lucky enough, on the very first take, I didn't make a mistake until later in the day. But the first take, I got through all 3 pages, and I said, "Oh, what a good boy am I."
It's something else. And
well, he's notorious. Mike writes these in long speeches. Next time you watch something like House of Usher, somebody will start talking, and they'll talk for 2.5 minutes. It's really hard. And I thought, at least my speeches in Usher are shorter, because like I say, it's all exposition. And for the most part, it's manageable until, like I say, he just touches a raw nerve by telling me that math is boring.
You make me appreciate accountants so much more in that speech as well.
Well, he has such pride, you know, if it weren't for me, all these businesses would go under, you know, you do it with a little finesse. I mean, again, you say, that's great. I mean, people should be proud of what they do, whether it's a glamorous job with a lot of attention or something that nobody notices that to most people would seem tedious. If you do a good job, you should be proud of that.
You just teed up my last question of the night quite perfectly. I say this a lot in my interview series that I do. I'm a big believer that in this industry, we're really good at giving each other awards, but no one tells themselves good job as much as they should. And that kind of leads into one of my favorite lines of the movie. Of course, I love the part where it's the universe is large and it contains multitudes, but it's the back half of that I've been carrying around with me quite a bit. But it also contains me, and in this moment, I am wonderful, and I have a right to be wonderful. So my question for you is, can you tell us the most recent time when you just stopped and thought to yourself, like I am wonderful, and I have the right to be wonderful?
Well, the whole movie is so life-affirming. You know, that's one thing that I think that you can't really get across in trailers or even in question and answer periods. It's so personal to each viewer. That I don't really have a moment where I thought, oh, I'm so wonderful. It's the little things, like just getting through that 3-page speech without making a mistake. I thought, see, now I didn't think I could do it. I wouldn't do the earwig, but I just did a thing a couple of weeks ago. It was just a thing for social media. And I had it fairly well memorized, but then they had a couple of, and I was supposed to be talking into a recorder. So if you're thinking, you always have to look somewhere. And I look right at somebody holding my lines. I knew the lines, but to have that backup was just added security for me. You know, and it's different. Like when you're doing theater, you have a rehearsal period. You know, you have, I don't know, sometimes 4, 5, 6 weeks. Usually you try it out of town, then you come into New York. But it's this, you know, it's there and it's not going to change. With movies or television, you go on set and you're immediately filming, usually some scene that's out of sequence. So very different techniques in each medium.
I will say again, you just nail it across the board in this movie,
Well,
as
thank
does
you.
this entire ensemble.
The whole cast, oh my gosh.
So
I mean,
good.
listen, I mean, I met all these people like Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Carl Lumley. We had scenes together. He was a opposing attorney in House of Usher, so I knew him. But Karen Gillan and Matthew Lillard. I've done dozens of Scooby-Doos over the years. That's all I know him. He's a really nice guy. He's a great voiceover artist, but I had no idea. I mean, he breaks your heart in just 30 seconds as Gus. And so the whole cast was just so great, and I felt so isolated. When I met them later, I said, gee, you know, I didn't get to work with you, but it was an honor acting near you. That's the best I could do, because I was very jealous. I would love to work with some of these actors in other projects.
Oh, you are part of the Flana family, and so are all of them. So I have a good feeling that all of you will cross paths again in
That
the
would
very
be
near
great.
future. Before this gets drowned out by applause, spread the word about Life of Chuck. I don't want to speak for everybody, but when I walked out of the movie, I stopped and said to myself, I am better off for having seen this. So if anybody else can feel that way, I would recommend it. So if you feel that way now, run out
Yes,
the door.
we're
and tell
counting on
everybody.
word of mouth, you guys. So if you liked it, tell a friend. If you didn't like it,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
for being here.
everyone. Thank you.